Guys, it is my favorite time of the year. Now, you might think maybe is that Christmas, maybe is it holiday season, maybe is it this, is it that? It's transfer portal season. It is time to talk about the transfer portal. We're kicking things off with the first transfer portal tracker, transfer portal watch video of the cycle coming into the next season as Kansas State basketball looks to figure things out and get back to the tournament. Now, quick thank you because we did hit 3,000 subs and I'm so pumped about that. For those of you wondering, I got the consult out of the way. This coming week, I'll have something set to get the official tattoo looked over. Make sure it's all good to go. For those that are wondering, had a cat script tattoo on the left eye. I'm going to get it done here soon. So I'm meeting with the tattoo guy next Saturday. Now, jumping into the video here, there's an exciting thing ahead of us, and that's the word I want to focus on. Exciting. We have the opportunity for the exciting Whites meme with Brendan Hawson and a kid we're going to talk about in today's video, and I'm pumped to do so because this is a big name type dude that could really impact Kansas State at a spot that we really need. It's a premium position that Kansas State needs to fill. Let me jump in right here and tell you about this player. For those wondering, if you saw the title, if you saw the thumbnail, this is a local Kansas kid. It's a kid named Cooper Schwieger, a kid that played at Blue Valley Southwest High School. Shout out Blue Valley Southwest. I was a North guy, but Blue Valley District as a whole, shout out. Cooper Schwieger spent the last 2 seasons at Valparaiso. I could be butchering the name of the school. I apologize for that. He stands 6'10", 230, and is a big deal, big dog type player. Let me talk about his game as I toss up some highlights here for you to get a picture of his game. Like I said, he spent the last 2 seasons at Valparaiso and put up some incredible numbers. Listen to this real quick. In his freshman season, 2023-24, he finished as the Missouri Valley Conference Freshman of the Year with 13.2 points per game, 5.4 assists per game, 5.4 rebounds per game, and 1 assist per game, on 50% shooting from the field. He also shot 36% from 3. He's 6'10" and a stretch 4 type dude, but they also used him as the 5 a little bit here and there, so it kind of depends what the fit would look like. But for Cooper Schwieger, he's an exciting player. This past season, he doubled up on his previous season, averaging just about 16 points per game and 8 rebounds per game. Shot 85% from the free throw line as a big dude. That tells you all you need to know about his shooting. 50% from the field, so 49% technically, and then 30% from 3, so a little bit of a drop off there, but that comes with the volume. Born in Overland Park, Kansas, so right in my neck of the woods, 6'10", 230. He's a kid that you want to see in the transfer portal. And for Kansas State, like I said, we took a long time to capitalize on the premium positions in the front court. Obviously, Coleman Hawkins being the last guy we added last season, a massive name, but it took us a while to get to that point, and it was kind of a situation where it was like, man, you're putting all your eggs in one basket. If it doesn't work out, you're in trouble. Obviously, love Coleman Hawkins, not about Coleman Hawkins for this video. The point of what I'm saying here is this. They're getting on top of this thing early. They're getting to a talented kid in the transfer portal that is going to convey some huge offers, but Kansas State has the ability to bring a local kid back home. For Cooper Schwieger, let me jump on this list. This is from KJ Hoops, a cool little thing to say. Valparaiso 6'10" sophomore Cooper Schwieger recently announced he's entering the transfer portal. He had a strong season this year where he averaged 16, 8, and 2 on 58% shooting. Schwieger is one of the most skilled scorers in the post and at the rim this season despite his age. He also has strong shooting upside for his height and is a strong rim protector. Schwieger also went off in some huge games this season, including a 33, 18, and 5 game on 20 shots versus UIC and 27 and 13 against Belmont. That's incredible. That's super cool to hear. These are the type of guys you want to see in the transfer portal because I know that the state of Kansas as a whole, there's a couple guys at Sunrise Christian, there's a couple guys here and there, but most of these dudes slip through the cracks, have to go to a smaller school and develop their game. Cooper Schwieger was that case. Wasn't ranked coming out of high school. Obviously, the Blue Valley District doesn't get recruited a ton. If there's someone that's massive, it happens, but not usually in terms of college next level basketball. He decided, hey, I'm going to keep playing. Obviously, you're standing 6'10", 230 and have some talent in high school. I'm going to go see what I can do. Is the best player at Valparaiso for the back 2 seasons. Obviously coming in as a freshman, those are massive numbers. And for Kansas State, you need to figure out what's going to happen in the front court. Now, quick caveat here. Him being a sophomore is massive for the program. Obviously gets to Kansas State as a junior, would have 2 seasons of eligibility, I believe. Technically a red shirt, but that's not really important in this case. And if he can make the jump, get up to speed real quick, this is going to be a dude that makes impact. Now, when I say that, I don't know that I'm necessarily saying this is an immediate starter at the 4, but I'm also not saying he's going to be an immediate guy that comes off the bench. He has the ability to be a starter for Kansas State. What we need to do this offseason, I've talked a lot about this process in the last couple of videos. This applies to Cooper Schwieger as well. We need to add dudes with the opportunity to start, not guys that you immediately carve out to say this is a depth piece role. If this kid shows up the way he's looking on paper right now, he can absolutely start at the 4, potentially the 5, depending on what the roster makeup looks like. Because you also understand, Valparaiso used him as both a 4 and a 5 at times. He can stretch the court, he can shoot from outside. The form's a little strange. If you see in the video, it's a little bit unique, but the kid makes him at a 30+% shot. Obviously, you're not asking your big man to be a 40% shooter. That's incredible, but that being said, even though the shot form looks a little bit weird, he still slashed about 33% from 3 in his 2-year career. And at Kansas State, I know that there's some there's some tie-ins of, will a big man convert to Big 12 basketball? How do we do this? How do we do that? Naquan Tomlin didn't play basketball. He's a super anomaly. I don't mean to compare him here because they're different players, but you've shown the ability that guys from lower levels can jump to Kansas State and be successful. With Cooper Schwieger, he's a local kid that cares about Kansas State basketball, that cares about the state of Kansas as a whole. That's the cool thing you see. Obviously, you grew up in an area that was predominantly Kansas fans, so you obviously understand there's probably some ties in there as well. But this would be a big dude to get on early, and I know there is a little bit of smoke here and there that have kind of talked about the opportunity of him coming back to Kansas State, or coming to Kansas State, excuse me, and that'd be awesome to see. Now, the beauty is that he gets a couple more years ahead of this to develop. He gets time to shine, gets time to work, because a kid like David Gasson, when he came here, I looked at him and didn't say, yeah, this guy's going to be the highest offensive rated player on your team. I definitely didn't say that. David Gasson this year definitely was your best player this season, and showed out in big games, showed out in any moment you needed him to. He was consistently your best player. That was not something I anticipated 2 years ago. I think anybody would call me a witch if you showed me the numbers 2 years ago and said this is the same player. Schweiger has the time and the impact to do that. Obviously, I think his floor is already higher than where David Gasson came to Kansas State at. I'm not trying to say David Gasson right now versus Cooper Schwieger. That's not a fair argument. But this kid could absolutely start for Kansas State, would absolutely hit the transfer portal off hot. And I know technically it hasn't opened up yet. We technically don't know what the roster makeup's going to look like. But at least you know that this kid's a talented kid, and I'm excited to see where he ends up. For Kansas State, I do know this would be an area of need. Obviously, you got crushed on the glass last season. Nobody's disputing that. You got crushed on the glass. 7.8 rebounds per game, that's a big deal. I know Coleman Hawkins and David Gasson were about 7 rebound per game guys, high sixes in that sense. You need some big dudes in the front court that can go rebound. Cooper Schwieger's shown the ability to do that. It's just about want. It's about desire. Obviously, you have a game that has 18 boards. That's a pretty damn good sign of this kid being able to do the things you need him to do. So for Kansas State, when the portal officially opens up, I know guys are entering early because they can kind of leak it to their agents and say, okay, I'm in the portal, but they haven't technically officially entered. That being said, kid's in the transfer portal. He's ready to go. I do pray that Kansas State gets this job done. Super quick break. If you're watching this video and you're not subscribed, 63% of the people watching this video right now are currently not subscribed to the YouTube channel, and feel free absolutely to ignore this and skip this, whatever the case is. But those of you that are watching right now and are unsubscribed, be sure and consider hitting that subscribe button if you love Kansas State, if you appreciate the channel. It's a great way to support me as I continue to grow on this journey, and it's also incredible to bring more K-State fans in like yourself on a consistent basis to see more of my K-State content. Once again, if you're in that 63% or if you're in the alternative in the 37%, I love and appreciate you. Back to the Cats. But you have to think for a kid like this is going to get some good offers. Another thing I should have mentioned, I didn't mention it, so I'm going to enter it right now. Schweiger had a ton of minutes played. Big men sometimes get limited to that. Okay, let's play him 25 minutes, 23 minutes. Let's give him a rest. Let's do this. This is a guy that you could toss out there for 30 minutes and it'd be okay if he's up to speed, if he develops. This year he played 32.7 minutes per game at his spot, and the year before that, as a true freshman, played 29.9 minutes per game. Obviously won Freshman of the Year award, so you understand what this kid has in his bag. Lastly, because I'm sure there's going to be some comments being like, well, I don't know, we should wait and see. I want to remind you of what happened last offseason, because obviously Kansas State didn't make the tournament this year. When you look at what happened, you turned away a couple guys because we got too picky. Obviously you had the money, obviously you had this, some things just didn't work out. There were guys like Mark Mitchell, there were guys like Terrace Reed, and obviously there's NIL stuff that all comes with this, so I'm not just going to say we passed on these people, but you also understand that we were a bit too picky in certain areas, saying, well, this might not work out best for us, this might not do this, and we kind of went a different direction. I'm not saying we can't afford to be picky here and there, but when there's a great basketball player sitting in front of your eyes that fits Kansas State, that's a great thing to have. Go get the kid done. I am excited about this possibility. We'll see what happens. I'll update you if I hear more on this front, but I wanted to bring you the first transfer portal video of this opportunity because it's going to be a long offseason. I'm excited to get through this with this content. So guys, that's pretty much going to do it. Cooper Schwieger, a kid I'm stoked about. Go check out some of his film. Go check him out on social medias. It's an exciting thing to see. Hopefully the Cats get in on him quick, smooth, and get the transfer portal started off right with a big-time player. But that's going to do it for today's video, guys. Once again, thanks for 3K subs. I will talk to you soon. Go Cats.